The crystalline alien vessel appeared in Earth's orbit without warning on a crisp autumn morning, its massive form casting shadows over Seoul's gleaming towers. Commander Jeho Park stood motionless, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that dominated Earth's unified defense command center. The vessel's size dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed, its structure seeming to bend light around its edges in ways that defied physics. "Status report," Commander Park called out, his voice steady despite the tension filling the room. Around him, operators worked at their stations with practiced efficiency, their fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "The vessel maintains geosynchronous orbit, sir," reported Lieutenant Kim. "No weapons systems detected, but our scanners can barely penetrate their hull." The command center buzzed with activity as Admiral Song Min Lee strode in, his decorated uniform carrying the weight of 30 years of service. His presence brought a sense of calm to the room. If anyone could handle first contact, it was the man who had helped build Earth's Space Force from the ground up. "Commander Park," the Admiral nodded. "What are we looking at?" Before Park could respond, every screen in the command center flickered. The alien vessel had begun broadcasting, its message repeating in perfect English across all frequencies. "We are the Galactic Imperial Fleet. Your world will be evaluated for integration." Admiral Lee's expression remained neutral, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "Patch me through to all Earth defense stations," he ordered. As the communications officer complied, Lee gathered his senior staff around the central holographic table. The alien vessel's scans swept across Earth's visible defense installations, the orbital platforms, the lunar base, the Mars colonies. What they couldn't see, however, was humanity's true strength. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known only to a select few, Earth's greatest achievement waited. "They're scanning our orbital defenses," Commander Park noted, watching the data streams. "Should we power up the decoy systems?" Admiral Lee nodded. "Let them see what we want them to see. Maintain Protocol Omega." Protocol Omega had been established 20 years ago, when humanity discovered the first piece of alien technology in the Antarctic ice. Since then, every major nation had pooled their resources in secret, preparing for this very moment. While the world's governments publicly squabbled over minor issues, underneath they worked in perfect unity. The command center's atmosphere grew tenser as a second message came through. "Your technology level has been assessed as Category 3. Prepare for preliminary contact." "They're underestimating us," Park said quietly, "just as we hoped they would." Admiral Lee moved to the communications station. "Initiate first contact protocols." "Dr. Han, are you ready with the linguistic package?" Dr. My-Sun Han, Earth's leading xenolinguist, nodded from her station. "Translation matrices are prepared, Admiral. We can communicate in their language if needed." The alien vessel deployed what appeared to be a shuttle, its surface shimmering with the same crystalline properties as its mothership. As it descended toward the designated landing zone outside Seoul, Admiral Lee received a priority message from the underwater facility. "Project Director reports all systems green," the communications officer announced. "The package is ready for deployment if needed." What the Empire didn't know, what no one outside the highest levels of Earth's unified government knew, was that humanity had been advancing by leaps and bounds, reverse engineering recovered alien technology. Every crashed scout ship, every piece of debris found in remote locations had been studied and improved upon. The shuttle touched down precisely at the designated coordinates. Earth's official delegation, composed of political figures and apparent military leaders, moved forward to greet them. But the real power players watched from the command center, ready to implement centuries of planning if necessary. "They're sending 3 representatives," Park reported, studying the scanner data. "Humanoid in appearance, but the biosignatures are definitely non-terrestrial." As the aliens emerged from their shuttle, their appearance caused a stir even among the seasoned command staff. They stood nearly 8 feet tall, their skin having a subtle crystalline quality that matched their technology. Their movements were fluid, almost graceful, but there was an unmistakable air of superiority in their bearing. "We come as representatives of the Galactic Empire," the lead alien announced, its words translated perfectly by Earth's systems. "Your world has been chosen for evaluation and potential integration into our civilization." Admiral Lee watched the feed carefully. "Notice how they say chosen rather than discovered," he commented to Park. "They want us to feel honored." The command center continued monitoring as the official delegation played their parts perfectly, showing appropriate awe while maintaining diplomatic courtesy. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Pacific, the real work continued. Engineers and scientists made final adjustments to systems that would revolutionize humanity's place in the galaxy. "Sir," Lieutenant Kim called out suddenly, "I'm detecting energy buildups in their shuttle. They're scanning below surface level." Admiral Lee remained calm. "Exactly as predicted. Activate the dampening fields." Throughout the oceans, advanced technology came to life, creating a web of energy that masked humanity's true capabilities. To the alien scanners, Earth would appear to be exactly what they expected: a developing world with promising potential, but nothing that could challenge their dominance. "They're documenting everything," Park observed, "building detailed profiles of our apparent capabilities." "Let them," Admiral Lee replied. "The more they underestimate us, the better positioned we'll be when the time comes." The first contact meeting continued for several hours, with the alien representatives laying out their vision of Earth's future in the Empire. They spoke of technological gifts, of cultural exchange, of prosperity. But underlying every word was the clear message that resistance would be futile. As the day drew to a close, the alien representatives returned to their shuttle, leaving behind a communication device and a promise to return in 7 days with a formal integration proposal. Once their shuttle had docked with the mothership, Admiral Lee finally allowed himself a small smile. "Begin Phase 2, he ordered. "It's time to wake up our sleeping giant." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility larger than any city, lights began to come on in a massive construction bay. Within it floated humanity's answer to the Empire's arrogance, a vessel that would change the course of galactic history. The first contact had gone exactly as planned. The Empire saw what they expected to see: another primitive world ready for absorption into their domain. They didn't realize that humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations, gathering knowledge, advancing technology, and building something that would shake the foundations of their power. The game had begun, and Earth was playing for keeps. The ocean depths near Busan held many secrets, but none as significant as what lay hidden beneath its dark waters. Chief Engineer Hee-Jin Kim stood at the control station, his fingers moving across the holographic displays with practiced precision. After 20 years of development, the moment of truth had arrived. "All systems are ready for emergence," Hee-Jin announced, his voice echoing through the massive underwater facility. The construction bay, carved into the bedrock of the ocean floor, stretched for kilometers in every direction. Beginning final checks. The facility's lights dimmed as power redirected to the main bay. There, suspended in a cradle of advanced technology, floated humanity's greatest achievement, the USS Blackstar. Its hull seemed to drink in the light, the surface appearing both solid and fluid at the same time. "Open the bay doors," Hee-Jin ordered. Above them, massive panels in the ocean floor began to slide apart, allowing the dark Pacific waters to pour in through protective force fields. Captain Sun Li Kang watched from the bridge of the Blackstar, her heart racing despite her calm exterior. At 35, she had earned her position through a combination of tactical brilliance and natural leadership ability. The crew around her represented the finest minds from every nation on Earth, chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think beyond conventional boundaries. "Engineering reports all systems nominal," reported Lieutenant Jae-won Park from the operations station. "Quantum drive is stable. Weapons systems are in standby mode." Sun Mi nodded, taking in the advanced bridge design. Unlike traditional naval vessels, The Blackstar's command center integrated technology reversed engineered from multiple alien sources. Neural interfaces allowed the crew to connect directly with the ship's systems, while advanced AI assisted with calculations too complex for human minds. "Begin emergence sequence," she ordered. The ship hummed to life around them, its revolutionary power systems coming online. The midnight black hull wasn't just for show. It incorporated materials that could bend light, gravity, and even space-time itself. He Jin's voice came through the communication system, releasing docking clamps, activating gravitational stabilizers. The massive vessel rose gracefully from its berth, water cascading off its hull in sheets. As it ascended through the opening in the ocean floor, the true scale of the Blackstar became apparent. At just over a kilometer in length, it was larger than any ship humanity had publicly acknowledged building. Yet its advanced systems made it more maneuverable than vessels a quarter its size. Approaching surface in 30 seconds, the navigation officer announced. Stealth systems engaging. The Blackstar's most revolutionary feature activated as it neared the ocean's surface. Rather than simply trying to avoid detection, the ship's stealth systems created a bubble of altered space-time around the vessel. To any observers, human or alien, the area would appear completely normal, the laws of physics themselves conspiring to hide the ship's existence. As the vessel broke the surface, Sunmai allowed herself a moment of pride. The Blackstar represented more than just a technological achievement. It was proof that humanity could stand toe-to-toe with any civilization in the galaxy. "Ship is free and clear," He Jin reported from the facility. All systems performing exactly as designed. The bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency, running through the hundreds of system checks required for the ship's first full deployment. Each station reported perfect functionality: weapons, propulsion, life support, and the dozens of experimental systems that made the Blackstar unique. "Begin atmospheric ascent," Sunmai ordered. "Maintain stealth protocols." The ship rose into the sky, its advanced engines completely silent. Unlike conventional spacecraft, the Blackstar didn't need massive rockets or visible propulsion. Instead, it manipulated gravitational fields, simply telling space-time to move it where it needed to go. As they climbed through the atmosphere, Sunmai received a transmission from Admiral Lee at Earth Defense Command. "Captain Kang, you are cleared for full space trials. Show us what the Blackstar can do." "Acknowledged, Admiral," she replied. Turning to her crew, she allowed herself a small smile. "Let's put her through her paces." The Blackstar accelerated, breaking free of Earth's atmosphere without so much as a tremor. The stars spread out before them, and for the first time, humanity had a vessel that could truly dance among them. "Taking us to safe distance for systems testing," the navigation officer reported. The Earth grew smaller behind them as the ship moved to a position well beyond the Moon's orbit. "Begin weapons trials," Sunmai ordered. The Blackstar's armament was unlike anything ever created, a combination of human innovation and alien technology that had been refined and improved upon. Target drones deployed from the ship's launch base, spreading out into space. At Sunmi's command, the weapons officer engaged the main offensive systems. Beams of concentrated energy, so focused they could hardly be seen, lanced out from the ship. Each drone disappeared in a flash of light, destroyed with perfect precision. "Phase shift drive test next," Sunmai announced. This was the true heart of the Blackstar's capabilities, the ability to partially shift out of normal spacetime, becoming virtually untouchable while maintaining full combat capabilities. The ship's quantum computers spun up, creating the complex calculations needed for the phase shift. There was a moment of disorientation as space itself seemed to bend around them, and then they were operating in a state that defied conventional physics. "Phase shift successful," He Jin reported from his monitoring station. "All systems maintaining stability." For the next several hours, the crew put the Blackstar through every test in the book, and then wrote new ones. The ship performed flawlessly, exceeding even their most optimistic projections. It could outmaneuver, outfight, and outrun anything humanity had ever encountered. As the trials concluded, Sun Mai received another transmission from Admiral Lee. The Imperial representatives have announced their return. They'll be here in less than 24 hours with their integration proposal. Perfect timing, Sun Mai replied. The Blackstar will be ready. She looked out at the stars, knowing that humanity's place among them was about to change forever. The Empire thought they were coming to claim another primitive world for their collection. Instead, they would meet their match. The U.S. Blackstar hung silently in space, its black hull reflecting no light, its presence hidden from all sensors. It was humanity's answer to the galaxy's challenges, and it was about to change everything. Tomorrow would bring the Empire's return, but humanity was no longer the primitive species they thought they'd found. The Blackstar was proof of that, and soon, the entire galaxy would know it too. The stars rippled as the Imperial fleet tore through hyperspace, emerging in perfect formation around Earth's orbit. 100 ships, their crystalline hulls gleaming in the sunlight, arranged themselves in attack positions. At their center, the massive Imperial flagship loomed larger than all others. On the Blackstar's bridge, Captain Sun Mikang watched the tactical display with growing concern. "That's far more ships than intelligence predicted," she said, studying the formation. The command channel crackled to life, and a familiar face appeared on the main screen. Admiral Du Hyun Choi, dressed in the ornate uniform of an Imperial fleet commander, smiled coldly at the assembled Earth Defense Forces. "This is Admiral Choi of the Imperial Fleet. Your pathetic attempts at deception have failed. Surrender now, and perhaps the Empire will show mercy." The bridge crew of the Blackstar exchanged glances. Du Hyun Choi had been one of Earth's most decorated Space Force officers before his disappearance 5 years ago. Now they knew where he had gone, and why. Multiple ships charging weapons, Lieutenant Je-Won Park reported from Tactical. "They're targeting our orbital defense platforms." Sun Mi keyed her neural link to the ship's systems, feeling the Blackstar's power flow through her consciousness. "Prepare for emergency response. All hands to battle stations." The Imperial fleet opened fire, their energy weapons painting the sky with deadly light. Earth's orbital platforms, designed to appear vulnerable, absorbed the attacks with hidden shield technology. Admiral Choi's expression shifted from confidence to confusion. "Blackstar Actual, this is Earth Command." Admiral Lee's voice came through. "You are authorized to engage. Show them what humanity can really do." Sun Mi nodded to her crew. "Disengage stealth systems. Let's introduce ourselves properly." The Blackstar rippled into visibility directly behind the Imperial fleet's rear guard. Before the enemy ships could react, the Earth vessel's quantum phase drive activated. The ship seemed to blink in and out of existence, appearing at different points in space, faster than the Imperial sensors could track. "Weapons free," Sun Mi ordered. "Target their propulsion systems only." The neural-linked weapons responded instantly to the crew's thoughts. Precise beams of energy lanced out, slicing through the Imperial ship's engines with surgical accuracy. 3 enemy vessels drifted powerless in space before their commanders could even register what had happened. Admiral Choi's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Impossible. Earth doesn't have this level of technology. You should have studied us more carefully," Sun Mi responded, as the Blackstar phase shifted through another attack formation. Humanity has always been full of surprises. The Imperial fleet's organized formation began to break down as they tried to track the Blackstar's movements. Their weapons, designed to overwhelm conventional shields, passed harmlessly through the Earth ship's phase-shifted hull. Multiple Imperial vessels adjusting shield frequencies, Jai-1 reported. "They're trying to adapt to our attack pattern." Sun Mi smiled. "Shift to attack pattern Delta. Let's show them what full neural link combat looks like." The Blackstar's crew moved as one mind, their thoughts flowing through the ship's systems. The vessel responded instantly, executing maneuvers that would have been impossible with conventional controls. It danced between Imperial ships, its weapons striking with perfect precision. Admiral Choi's flagship turned its massive bulk, bringing its main weapons to bear on the Blackstar. "I know Earth's capabilities," he snarled. "I helped design your defense systems. The ones we wanted you to see." Sun Mai replied calmly. "Did you really think we'd show our full hand to someone working for the Empire?" The flagship's main cannon fired, a beam of pure energy that could have vaporized a small moon. The Blackstar's quantum drive engaged, shifting the ship partially out of normal spacetime. The beam passed through where they had been, continuing harmlessly into deep space. More Imperial ships lost power as the Blackstar struck again and again. The neural-linked crew coordinated their actions perfectly, striking faster than any conventional command structure could respond to. "Admiral Choi," Sun Mai broadcast, "your fleet is being disabled ship by ship. Surrender now, and we can avoid further damage." The response came in the form of another massive barrage from the remaining Imperial vessels. The Blackstar phased through the attacks, appearing inside their formation. "Their targeting systems can't lock onto us while we're phase-shifted," Jai-1 reported with satisfaction. "But our weapons work perfectly." More Imperial ships went dark, their engines disabled by precise strikes. The mighty fleet that had arrived to subjugate Earth was being systematically neutralized by a single vessel they couldn't even hit. Admiral Choi's flagship turned for a desperate charge. "If I can't have Earth for the Empire, I'll make sure there's nothing left to take." The flagship's weapons charged to overload levels, preparing to unleash a blast that would devastate Earth's surface. Before he could fire, the Blackstar appeared directly in front of his bridge. "That's enough, Admiral," Sun Mai said quietly. The Blackstar's main weapons powered up, aimed directly at the flagship's command center. "Order your remaining ships to stand down." For a long moment, silence filled the communications channels. Then, slowly, Admiral Choi gave the order to surrender. Across the battlefield, Imperial ships powered down their weapons. As Earth defense forces moved in to secure the disabled vessels, Sun Mi turned to her crew. "Send word to Earth Command. The Blackstar's first combat trial is complete. All systems performed beyond expectations." The crew cheered quietly, professional even in victory. They had just proved that humanity's greatest achievement could stand against the most powerful fleet in the known galaxy. In the darkness of space, the Blackstar's midnight black hull seemed to absorb the light of battle, a silent guardian of humanity's independence. The age of Imperial domination was over, and a new chapter in galactic history had begun. The starlight bent strangely at the edges of the Proxima Centauri system as Lieutenant Eugene Lee studied the tactical display aboard the USS Blackstar. 3 Imperial cruisers patrolled the area, searching for the Earth vessel that had been disrupting their operations across 5 sectors. "They're using standard search patterns," Eugene observed, her fingers tracing the projected paths of the enemy ships. She had spent months studying Imperial tactics, learning their habits and preferences. "But look here, there's a gap in their sensor coverage." Engineer Minho Ryu looked up from his station, where the ship's advanced AI displayed its calculations. "The quantum computers are picking up something interesting. The Imperial ships are creating micro-distortions in spacetime with their engines." Captain Kang moved to study their findings. "Can we use that?" "Better," Eugene smiled. "We can hide in it. Their own engine signatures create blind spots they can't scan." The Blackstar hung silently in space, its phase-shifted hull making it invisible to conventional sensors. The crew had learned to think differently about space combat, not as a head-to-head battle, but as a dance of shadows and light. "Look at this pattern," Minho pointed to a complex series of calculations. "The AI has mapped the quantum wake of their engines. It's predicting where they'll create their jump points before they even start the sequence." Eugene's eyes lit up. "If we can predict their jump points, we can be waiting for them when they arrive," Captain Kang finished. "How accurate are these predictions?" 97%, Minho replied. The AI learns from each encounter. It's getting better at reading their technology. The tactical display updated as one of the Imperial cruisers began powering up its jump drive. Yujin's fingers flew across her console, plotting an intercept course based on the AI's predictions. "Ready to execute on your order, Captain," she reported. Captain Kang nodded. "Show me what you've got, Lieutenant." The Blackstar's quantum phase drive engaged, shifting the ship through the fabric of spacetime. They emerged precisely where the AI predicted, mere seconds before the Imperial cruiser completed its jump. Target emerging in 3, 2, 1. Yujin counted down. The Imperial ship burst into normal space, directly in front of the Blackstar's waiting weapons. Before they could raise shields or power weapons, precision strikes disabled their key systems. "Clean hit," Yujin reported with satisfaction. "Their engines and weapons are offline." The other two Imperial ships immediately changed course, but the Blackstar was already gone, shifted into another blind spot in spacetime. This was how they fought now, appearing, striking, and vanishing before the enemy could respond. "The AI is tracking their communication patterns," Minho announced. "They're calling for reinforcements, but look at this. There's a pattern to their quantum communications, too." The display showed complex waves of energy rippling through space. What looked like random noise to human eyes was a clear pattern to the ship's quantum computers. "Can we use their own communications network to track their movements?" Captain Kang asked. Minho nodded excitedly. "Better than that. We can predict where their entire fleet will be before they arrive. The quantum echoes of their communications carry temporal signatures." Yujin immediately began incorporating this new data into her tactical plans. The Blackstar wasn't just fighting with advanced technology. It was rewriting the rules of space combat. Next Imperial Patrol Group arriving in Sector 4 in approximately 20 minutes, the AI announced through Minho's station. Predicted emergence point plotted. Captain Kang studied the tactical display. "How many ships?" "5 vessels, Yujin replied. "Heavy cruiser configuration." "They're learning, sending stronger groups now." "But they haven't learned enough," Minho added. "They still don't understand how we're tracking them." The Blackstar moved silently through space, using the Imperial ship's own energy signatures to mask its movements. Yujin's new combat strategies had proven devastatingly effective. The Empire couldn't fight what they couldn't find or understand. "Ready for next engagement," Yujin reported. "I've plotted 3 possible strike points based on their likely response patterns." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their neural links allowing them to coordinate without speaking. The ship's hybrid technology responded to their thoughts, adjusting and adapting to each new situation. "Multiple quantum distortions detected," Minho announced. "They're trying to mask their jump signatures." Yujin smiled. "Too late. We've already learned their patterns. The AI has compensated for the masking attempts." The Imperial ships emerged exactly where predicted, their new tactics already anticipated and countered. The Blackstar struck from their blind spots, its weapons finding vulnerable points with surgical precision. "This isn't just about winning battles," Captain Kang observed as another Imperial patrol group retreated in disarray. "We're teaching them that their technological superiority isn't absolute." Each engagement revealed new possibilities, new ways to use the ship's revolutionary systems. The fusion of human intuition with advanced technology created something the Empire had never encountered. An opponent that could think beyond conventional warfare. "Engineering reports the quantum phase drive is ready for another shift," Minho reported. "And the AI has identified 3 more blind spots in local spacetime." Yujin updated her tactical plot. The Empire's responses are becoming more predictable. They're falling back on standard protocols because they don't know what else to do. The Blackstar continued its campaign, striking from impossible angles, using the very fabric of spacetime as both weapon and shield. The Empire's mighty fleets found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't find, predict, or fight effectively. In the command chair, Captain Kang watched her crew work with pride. They had become more than just officers and engineers. They were pioneers, creating new forms of space combat with every engagement. The stars stretched out before them, filled with possibilities and tactical opportunities that only the Blackstar could exploit. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't just surviving against the Empire. It was showing them a whole new way to navigate the cosmos. The quantum communication array aboard the Blackstar hummed softly as Science Officer Hyjin Park analyzed the strange signals they had been detecting. For weeks, the ship had picked up fragments of encoded transmissions, hidden within the background radiation of space. "Captain, I think you need to see this," Hyjin called out, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across her screen. "These patterns aren't random noise. They're messages." Captain Kang moved to the science station, studying the complex wave patterns. "Can you decode them?" "That's the interesting part," Hyjin replied, bringing up a comparison display. "They're using quantum encryption similar to ours. Someone else has developed technology parallel to Earth's innovations." The bridge crew gathered around as Hyjin worked to decrypt the transmissions. The ship's AI assisted, matching patterns and analyzing variations in the quantum signals. There, Hyjin pointed to a cleared section of code. "It's a resistance network. Multiple species, all fighting the Empire in secret." The decrypted messages revealed a hidden war that had been raging for centuries. While the Empire maintained its image of absolute control, underground movements have been slowly working to undermine their power. "Look at this," Hyjin highlighted a particular transmission. "It's from something called the Stellar Republic. Their technical specifications are incredible." Captain Kang studied the data. "Can we contact them securely?" "I think so. Their quantum communication methods are compatible with ours. We can piggyback on their existing network." The Blackstar's communications array adjusted, matching the encrypted frequencies used by the Resistance. Hyjin composed a careful message, identifying them as fellow fighters against the Empire. The response came within minutes. A holographic figure appeared on the bridge, a being of elegant proportions with silver-toned skin. "I am Ambassador Lara of the Stellar Republic. We have been watching your activities with great interest." "Captain Sun Mi Kang of the U.S. Blackstar," Sun Mai responded. "We had no idea there were others actively resisting the Empire." "That was by design," Ambassador Lara explained. "The Empire's power relies on the belief that resistance is impossible. Yet here you are, proving them wrong with every engagement." Hyjin's console beeped as new data streamed in. The Stellar Republic was sharing their technical archives, showing advances that complemented Earth's own developments. "Your phase drive technology," Ambassador Lara noted, "combined with our quantum shielding could change everything." The bridge crew reviewed the technical specifications with growing excitement. While Earth had focused on stealth and mobility, the Stellar Republic had developed unprecedented defensive systems. "There are others," Ambassador Lara continued. "The Nexus Collective, the Free Worlds Alliance, all working in secret, all waiting for the right moment to strike." Hyjin processed the flood of new information. "Their technologies are all different but compatible. It's like pieces of a puzzle coming together." Captain Kang leaned forward. "How many others are out there?" "More than the Empire knows," Ambassador Lara smiled. "We've been gathering strength, developing new technologies, waiting for a catalyst. Your Blackstar might be exactly what we needed." A holographic display filled with locations of hidden resistance bases, secret shipyards, and underground research facilities. The Empire's grip on the galaxy suddenly seemed less absolute. "We should arrange a direct meeting," Captain Kang suggested. "Share our advancements in person." "Agreed. We have a secure facility in the Deneb sector. The Empire believes it's an abandoned mining operation." Hyjin worked with the ship's AI to integrate the new data into their systems. The combination of Earth's innovations with the Resistance technologies opened up possibilities they had never imagined. "The Empire's greatest weakness," Ambassador Lara noted, "is their belief in their own superiority. They never considered that their subjected worlds would advance beyond their control." The The Blackstar's quantum communications array lit up as more resistance groups made contact. Each had their own technological specialties, their own ways of fighting back. "We need to coordinate our efforts," Captain Kang said. "Combined operations using all our technologies." Ambassador Laura nodded. "The Empire won't expect it. They've kept us divided for so long. They've forgotten the power of unity." Hai-Jin's console displayed the growing network of resistance forces. "With our combined technologies, we could strike anywhere in Imperial space. They wouldn't be able to predict or counter our capabilities." The bridge crew felt the weight of this moment. They weren't alone anymore. Humanity's fight against the Empire had become part of something larger. The Blackstar was designed to protect Earth. Captain Kang addressed her crew. "Now we have the chance to help free the entire galaxy." As the quantum communications continued, plans were made and alliances formed. The resistance movements that had fought alone for centuries were coming together, their separate technologies combining into something the Empire could never have predicted. The stars seemed brighter somehow, filled with new possibility. The age of Imperial dominance was coming to an end, not through a single decisive battle, but through the combined will of countless beings who had never stopped fighting for freedom. In the depths of space, the Blackstar prepared to meet its new allies. The war was entering a new phase, and this time, the Empire wouldn't know what hit them. Communications Officer Jia Shin's fingers moved rapidly across her console as Imperial transmissions flooded the Blackstar's quantum receivers. Messages bounced between Imperial worlds in increasing volume, their encryption barely hiding the panic beneath. "Captain, you need to hear this," Jia called out, isolating a particular transmission. "3 more Imperial core worlds have declared their independence." Captain Kang stood behind Jiayan's station, listening as the messages played out. The Empire's iron grip was slipping, system by system, world by world. "Their own security forces are turning against them," Jiayan reported, sorting through the streams of data. "The Blackstar's successes have shown them that the Empire isn't invincible." On the main display, a map of Imperial space updated in real time. Red markers indicated systems in open revolt, while yellow showed those wavering in their loyalty. The pattern was spreading like wildfire. "Message from the Resistance Network," Jiayan announced. "The Stellar Republic's fleet is moving to support the rebellions in the Arcturus sector. They're requesting our assistance." Captain Kang studied the tactical situation. "Plot a course. We'll coordinate with their forces and strike at the Imperial supply lines." The Blackstar moved through space with its characteristic silence, its phase drive allowing it to slip past Imperial patrol routes undetected. The ship had become more than just a weapon. It was a symbol of successful resistance. Multiple distress calls from Imperial command posts, Jiayan reported. Their own garrison forces are turning against them. They never expected their own troops to rebel. The bridge crew watched as another Imperial world declared its independence. The Empire's responses were becoming increasingly desperate, their once precise military actions deteriorating into chaos. "Incoming transmission from the Nexus Collective," Jiayan said. "They're offering tactical data on Imperial infrastructure targets." The display filled with information about power stations, shipyards, and command centers, the backbone of Imperial control. Each one represented a point of vulnerability in their once impregnable system. "Their own rigid structure is working against them," Captain Kang observed. "They can't adapt fast enough to handle multiple simultaneous rebellions." The Blackstar moved into position near a major Imperial supply hub. The facility's defenses were formidable, but they were designed to repel conventional attacks. "All stations, prepare for precision strike," Captain Kang ordered. "Target their quantum communication arrays first. Cut them off from Central Command." The ship's advanced weapons found their marks with surgical precision. The Imperial facility's communications went dark, followed by its defense systems and power grid. Without firing a single shot at the structure itself, they had rendered it useless. "More Imperial ships breaking formation," Jiayan reported excitedly. "They're refusing orders to fire on civilian targets. The command structure is collapsing. The resistance network buzzed with activity as more groups joined the fight. The Blackstar's tactics were being adapted and used across the galaxy, each success inspiring more to rise up. New message intercepted. Jai Yun's voice carried a note of surprise. It's from Imperial High Command. They're ordering a full retreat from the outer systems. The bridge crew watched in amazement as Imperial forces began pulling back, abandoning their positions across vast sectors of space. The mighty Empire was contracting, trying desperately to maintain control of its core regions. They're making a mistake, Captain Kang noted. Every system they abandon joins the resistance. Their own actions are accelerating their collapse. Jai Yun's console lit up with new transmissions. Multiple Imperial fleet commanders are declaring their independence. They're turning their ships against their own command centers. The Blackstar coordinated with these newly freed forces, sharing tactical data and strike plans. Each defecting Imperial ship brought valuable intelligence about the Empire's remaining strengths and weaknesses. The Stellar Republic is reporting success in the Arcturus sector, Jai Yun announced. 3 more systems liberated with minimal casualties. Captain Kang smiled. This was how empires fell, not through massive battles, but through the steady erosion of their power and authority. Signal from the Resistance Council, Jai Yun reported. They're coordinating a final push toward the Imperial capital systems. All available ships are being called in. The Blackstar's engines hummed as they prepared to join the gathering fleet. Around them, ships of every design and origin moved in formation. Former Imperial vessels now fighting for freedom, resistant ships emerging from hiding, and vessels from a dozen liberated worlds. The Empire's own weapons turned against them, Captain Kang observed. Their greatest fear realized. Jai Yun's console continued to stream with messages of defection and rebellion. The Empire's once unshakable grip on the galaxy was failing, system by system, ship by ship. Multiple Imperial defense stations powering down, Jai Yun reported. Their crews are refusing to fire on advancing resistance forces. The Blackstar moved into position among the gathered fleet. Their next target was the heart of Imperial power itself, the central systems where their authority had begun. Send word to all resistance forces, Captain Kang ordered. The final phase begins now. As the combined fleet prepared for their advance, Jai Yun's console recorded one last transmission from a failing Imperial command post. The Empire is finished. Long live freedom. The stars seemed to shine brighter as the ships moved forward. The age of Imperial dominance was ending not with a massive battle, but with the quiet determination of countless beings who had decided they would no longer bow to tyranny. The Blackstar led the way, its midnight black hull a promise of change. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what they had fought for. The Arcturus system's twin suns cast a golden glow across the assembled fleets. The Blackstar hung in space, facing the massive Imperial flagship across the void. Behind each vessel, their respective forces waited in formation, the combined resistance fleet on one side, the remaining Imperial loyalists on the other. Admiral Choi's flagship is hailing us, Communications Officer Jai Yun reported. He's requesting a direct channel to the bridge. Captain Kang nodded, and the image of Admiral Du Hyun Choi appeared on the main screen. He looked older than when they'd last seen him, the weight of his choices evident in his eyes. Captain Kang, he said softly, I believe it's time we had a real conversation. About your betrayal of Earth? Sun Mei asked, keeping her voice level. About my mission to save the galaxy, he corrected. Everything I've done, every action I've taken, was to bring us to this moment. The bridge crew listened as Admiral Choi explained how he had worked his way into the Empire's highest ranks, carefully planting the seeds of its downfall. His apparent betrayal had been the first step in a plan to expose the Empire's weaknesses from within. I knew Earth would respond to the Empire's arrival with innovation, he continued. I knew our people would create something like the Blackstar, but I had to make sure the Empire would underestimate us. Tactical displays showed the two fleets maintaining their positions, weapons armed but not targeting. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance of this conversation. The Empire's strength was its weakness, Choi explained. Their absolute certainty in their superiority made them blind to the possibility of defeat. I used that blindness. Understanding dawned across the bridge as the pieces fell into place. The Empire's surprisingly quick acceptance of Choi, their overconfidence in approaching Earth, their rigid responses to the Blackstar's attacks, all had been subtly influenced by the Admiral's careful manipulation. "You could have told us," Sun Mai said. "No," Choi shook his head. "The plan only worked if everyone's reactions were genuine. Earth's innovation came from real necessity. The Resistance fought back against real oppression. I just helped guide events toward this moment." The main screen split to show representatives from across the galaxy, Resistance leaders, former Imperial commanders, delegates from free worlds, all watching, waiting to see how this final confrontation would end. "The Empire doesn't need to fall in fire and destruction," Choi continued. "It needs to transform. That's why I waited until the Black Star proved humanity's worth. We can help guide the galaxy toward something better." Captain Kang looked at her crew, seeing the same realization in their eyes. The greatest victory wouldn't be destroying the Empire, but helping it become something new. "What are you proposing?" she asked. "A galactic council," Choi replied. "Not ruled by force, but guided by wisdom. Earth has proven it can innovate without conquering. The Resistance has shown that cooperation is stronger than control. Together, we can build something that will last." The Blackstar's sensors detected Imperial ships powering down their weapons. Across the fleet, crews made their choice between the old way and the new possibility before them. "Send word to all ships," Sun Mai ordered. "The war is over. The future begins now." Hours later, Captain Kang stood in the grand chamber of the newly formed Galactic Council. Representatives from hundreds of worlds filled the room. Former enemies now working together to forge a new path. The Blackstar's achievements had helped make this possible, but it was the choice to show mercy rather than vengeance that truly changed everything. The ship became a symbol not of military might, but of the power of innovation and understanding. "The Council recognizes Captain Sun Mi Kang," the speaker announced. She stepped forward, feeling the weight of history in this moment. "We stand at a new dawn," she began. "Earth didn't win this victory alone. Every world that chose freedom, every being that dared to resist, every voice that called for change, we all share in this moment." The chamber erupted in applause as representatives from across the galaxy stood together. The rigid divisions of the Empire gave way to a new unity, born not of force but of choice. Admiral Choi, now serving as Earth's representative to the Council, smiled as he watched his long plan reach its culmination. The galaxy would still face challenges, but they would face them together. The Blackstar's legacy would live on, not as a weapon, but as a reminder that even the smallest worlds could change the course of history. Its revolutionary technology would serve not to dominate, but to explore and protect. As the council session ended, Captain Kang looked out at the stars through the chamber's vast windows. They seemed brighter somehow, full of promise rather than threat. The age of empires was over. The age of cooperation had begun. And somewhere out there, new adventures waited for those brave enough to reach for them. Humanity had proven itself not through conquest, but through innovation and determination. The U.S. Blackstar's journey had shown the galaxy a new way forward, and the stars themselves seemed to shine with hope for the future. The story was over, but the legacy would continue. In the halls of the Galactic Council, in the hearts of those who fought for freedom, and in the endless possibilities that waited among the stars.